Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the HG Ahead from the Gundam 00 series Season 2. Now the Ahead is basically another one of those typical, not exactly typical, but basically one of those grunt suits that we see in starting from Season 2. Yeah, I actually wanted to try this ever since I did try out the Ahead, Bushido's Ahead, and definitely it was a unique kit, and I really like the size and overall design of it, so I wanted to try the other ones. Now, I've been looking for them for quite a while, but recently, especially in Gundam Base Korea, there was a reissue of this and the Ahead Smoltron, which I actually got both, if you see my images. Alright, so now let's get on to the review right away. So, let's talk about components. So, first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the mobile suit itself, the Ahead himself. And then, obviously, on the backpack, we got some extra thrusters, and then we also have another extra thruster on the back skirt. And here we have the components. So, first of all, let's get rid of the ugly. So, I really need to figure out, like, since which, in the 00 series, starting from which mobile suit they start using, or which kit they start using the actual beam saber parts, where they actually give you a separate hilt and a beam effect part. So, if for those who are new to the hobby, if you buy certain 00 series kits, you might actually see these type of things. These are just, yeah, bad. For those in the hobby for a while, you obviously, like, if you see a beam saber included in the kit, you would expect to have a separate hilt and a clear piece effect part, but this is not the case. So I'm not even gonna bother to show you guys this as well. And here we have the shield, very basic looking shield, but definitely looking, you know, efficient, because there are really inefficient or weird looking shields out there in other series as well. And then we get, now this small piece is basically a cover up piece to, if you don't want to see that hole on the bottom of the crotch area, you can always cover up with this. So yeah. And then we get this part, which is another, this is more of a carrier. So for those who have seen the 00 series Season 2, in the beginning, or on the early episodes, you might see these robots, these automated drone type robots. These are meant to kill people, and this is where they carry it around here. So you can either, for the back skirt, you can always attach either this one, which is basically another thruster, or replace it, come on, there we go, you can replace it with this one. So it's really up to you, so your choice, but I tend to just use this more because this is the more standard you know, option, if you ask me. Alright, so let's get rid of those. And finally we get his main weapon, the rifle. So this actually has two modes. So in this mode, this is the GN Beam Rifle. But what you can also do is you can take the front barrel off, and then these, sorry about that, these two square pieces off, and now it becomes a GN submachine gun. I actually like this more better because I actually did use this mobile suit back in the good old days of SD Gundam Capsule Fighter Online. I actually used this and the Smoltron as well. What I like about these two units is the GN submachine guns. You can just basically spam your enemies with GN beam guns as well. So this is this is just a personal preference. And we have a stock that can move, that can wiggle a bit. Now, this is a stock, but it doesn't really extend, so just saying. Alright, so now we've seen the basic components. Now let's look at the kit itself. So I'm not going to make any comparisons with the Mr. Bushido's Ahead, because I actually did have one issue on that kit as well, and it's pretty much the same basis in terms of build. There was just different parts here and there because of the overall design, because Bushido Ahead is basically a close combat unit, while this one is a much more, you know, all-around general purpose mobile suit. And what I also like about the Ahead unit is that is its size and chunk, because here is a typical mobile suit. You can definitely tell there's a big height difference despite both being HG kits, and like, yeah, it's much more wider, and it's definitely a unique specimen in terms of design. Alright, so now let's get on to the head. So there aren't many stickers. I actually got rid of the sticker sheet for some reason. So yeah, so I'm going to point out the stickers right away. So number one, we have in terms of the amount of stickers, is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We only have 6 stickers in total. So let me point them out right away. So starting with the head, so all the stickers you see are pretty much in the camera right now. So number one, the stickers, the 3 stickers on the head is like the eye. So this one is a separate sticker sheet. The top section is a separate sticker sheet, and then we have this piece on the forehead where it's currently covered up by a clear piece, but behind that we do apply a sticker as well. And then on the chest here, this orange section is actually a sticker. Of course, it's not the sticker is not on the chest. There's actually the the neck area, this is actually a separate piece entirely on the neck area, and this is you apply the sticker on the neck part as well. So, and then we get these two orange parts, which isn't too bad. I don't mind like stickers like these, especially like the head cameras and such. And according to the wiki, this is where the beam sabers are stored. So this part would open up to, and it would spit out a beam saber hilt. Alright, so we've gone through with the stickers. Now let's look at the head. Now definitely I do like the overall look of the head. It has that evil-ish look, despite it's not really that evil when you think about it. Another unique feature is that this thing actually has 4 eyes, so that's really unique and interesting. And in the Gundam 00 universe, there weren't many mobile suits on Season 1. There weren't many mobile suits that actually had Vulcans. This one actually does have Vulcan, so I just wanted to point that out. And then the head can go down that much. That's actually a good amount. And then up pretty well. And then 360 should be no problem because it is on a ball joint. Alright, and then let's look at the main body. So the main body, definitely a unique design. So according to the wiki, originally the chest was supposed to be designed pretty similar as like the Gundam units from the Season 1, where there was supposed to be like a circle, a circled area on the chest. But at the time, the Gundams did have a negative image on the public, so they decided to cover it up in like this format. So you can see that we have 3 layers. So number 1 is this red layer, obviously, and then the second layer is the clear piece on the inside, and then third, there's another black piece on the inside. So that's actually pretty well done. I do like that small detail and design going on here. Now the body itself, the connection is pretty well done, so you do have a nice app crunch going on here, and then you are able to go side to side. Let me check if you can go 360. Seems like you are able to go 360 without no problem as well. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. And looking at the back, we have a nice GN drive towel. And then we have these extra thrusters going on here. So I do like this design overall because each of these are connected to ball joints. So the inside here is a ball joint, and then on top of here where the thrusters are connected is also a polycap ball joint. So we can move this. You can move this part entirely front and back, or you can go up and down slightly. And then for the thruster itself, they can also move a little bit thanks to the ball joint. So you can go side to side if you want to do so, and up and down a little bit. So you do have some freedom going on here. Now these are in red colors, but I believe like on the wiki, like or certain images of this kit kind of points out has these parts in orange. It could be the lighting of the pictures, but yeah, just wanted to point that out. Alright, so now let's look at the arms. Now the arms are definitely, typical arms, but still they have some unique features. And the build of the main body is kind of interesting. So we have this part right over here that somehow wiggles on its own, but we also have a nice forward and backward movement on the entire shoulder here, because there's actually a long joint here, so this is to cover that up. So kind of an interesting design choice, but thanks to that we actually have a long range of movement. And let me just get rid of the let me just move this around. So you do have a 360 twist on the arm, and then you can go to the side less than 90 degrees because of all this armor going on here. And then this black piece on the shoulder is also connected to a separate ball joint here. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but you are able to move this a little bit, but still it's not really meant to like move a lot. It can wiggle a bit. And we have, in terms of bend, we get only a 90-degree bend, sadly, but that's pretty much what you expect from a kit that's old as this. And then on the top arm, we have a nice 360 twist, and on the lower arm, we also have another rotating point here, because for the L-head, you have the certain equipment where the peg needs to be on the side or on the top section here, so which is why they allow you to rotate that. And hands are your typical ball jointed hands. You only get the multi-purpose hands for this kit. So that's that. Now let's look at the waist section here. There's no front skirt or now I guess this is considered a back skirt, but this is not really considered to be like armor part, so that's a exception. And we have this part, which I guess we should consider as side skirts. I'm not really sure how these designs work in terms of defense, but okay, it works. And then if you look at the side of the sides here, you have this port here. So according to the manual, they tend to keep really emphasizing this, where you can actually attach the gun like this and carry it around. So I personally don't think this looks that great at all, so I'm just gonna just say okay, it's a gimmick, but yeah, it doesn't really look that great. Alright, now let's look at the legs itself. So once again, you can go forward that much and backwards, pretty much the same. But you have to go to the side a little bit because of the extra thruster going on here. Of course, if you take it off, you should have no problem as well. And we do have instead of a side swivel, because the way how the joint is designed here, it's not much of a side swivel, but you can actually move forward and backward a lot with this joint, because it is a ball jointed connection, and you can kind of droop down a little bit if you want to make it look taller or longer. So really up to you. And then bend wise, we get a pretty nice bend going on here, decent bend going here. And then feet wise, we have a very large feet, definitely my preferred type of feet. And then we have a nice pivot point. We have a nice pivot in terms of ball, because it is a ball jointed connection, and you can move side to side. There's no extra toe bend on this kit. Alright, so now we've seen the basics of the kit. So I think in terms of the build quality or overall quality in general, it's a very solid kit. Basic, there's nothing you can go wrong with this kit. The build is pretty much straightforward, and yeah, it has all the basics. So if you're a fan of like you know, grunt type mobile suits, or like, you know, general mobile suits like me, this is definitely going to be a fun kit for you as well. Now there's only one thing to demonstrate, because now the gun, you can pretty much attach it onto the hand, but you can also hold this with the double hand, with doing the double hand pose, because on the gun we have these extra handles that can pop out to the side. So I'll be right back with that demonstration, and we'll end it off there. Okay, I'm back with the double hand pose. It's basically pretty simple. You just need to hold the one hand with the gun, and then the other hand on the second handle here, and you should be good. So that's pretty simple, but I also like to mention that if you are able to hold this with one hand, and the good part is that now if you just hold it with the gun, it is a little bit on the wobbly side, but if you remember that stock thing, on the bottom there is a small peg, and then there's a small hole on the arm. You can actually connect these two, like how the Exia connects his blade to the arm. You get a very firm connection, so this I really like about that. Really, I am a pretty sucker for these type of connections, and you should have no problem. And if you always want to make it into the long rifle, you can always you don't need to take off anything from the rifle itself. You just need to attach all these small parts, even these square ones. I'm not really too sure what these square ones are, but still, if you don't like those, you can just use it as a long rifle like this. So no problem with that. And finally, the shield, you can just pretty much slap this onto the hole onto the side. So, and you're good to go. And this shield, thanks to the connection, you do have a small rotation as well, so you can always reposition the shield any place you want. And that's pretty much it for the review of the Ahead. So definitely I like the size and chunk and the overall unique design of this kit. Definitely has that gruntish feeling, and it definitely has a unique design and color scheme going on here, because we don't really see too many colors in this format. So anybody who's a big fan of the 00 series or the 00 units, or you're a big fan of grunt units like me, this is definitely a kit for you, because it's definitely slightly chunkier and taller than your typical HG kit. So yeah, definitely highly recommended. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.